Hey, here we are. It's another LifterLMS Ask Us Anything call. I'm here with Magic Emily Middleton. My name is Kurt, and we'll be here for the next hour or so answering all questions like technical strategy, hanging out, whatever. We used to say that for the office hours call, but it seems more appropriate here lately. It seems like you folks like this call. People come to this one. Here's the thing. If you have any questions for us regarding LifterLMS or WordPress in general or something like that, just go ahead and put your questions into the chat. Whatever channel you're watching on, we should see that notification come through. So if it's Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, Twitch, whatever, wherever you see us, go ahead and put your notes and your comments in, and that way we can interact with you. Also, we always have fun talking about like who's here and where they're from and stuff like that, because it's cool to see the reach. For instance, Garrison Fletcher is with us. He is from San Diego. We've got Dell with us. Dell is from Canada, and we always have a lot of people from Canada. So it's pardon me, kind of fun. I just recently helped a customer from LifterLMS that was in the Netherlands. So that was kind of a cool one. Get a lot of people from the Netherlands. Came up on the company call too. We did a company call yesterday with Lifter, and the owner was talking about how we seem to have a lot of users in the Netherlands. It's like a little tech center out there or something like that. It's like the San Francisco of Europe.
Yeah.
They probably don't have a lot of homeless people pooping on the street. All right. How are you?
I am good. I am just waking up. I was awake earlier, so like I'm gonna go back to bed after my meetings are done today. Just couldn't sleep. My girlfriend likes to cut my circadian rhythm in half by making a bunch of noise at 5 a.m. But yeah, so I'm awake. I am here for like 4 hours, and then I'm going back to sleep. That's my day. How are you doing?
My wife started a new job like 6 or 8 months ago, probably 8 months ago. And she gets up at like 5 a.m. And it's all those social media videos to me are 100% absolutely, completely true, Emily. When men have to get up early, we stumble around in the dark and we tiptoe on our socks, and we don't brew coffee because we don't want to wake people up. We'll buy a coffee at the 7-Eleven, like those kinds of things. But I've noticed my wife and my children, when they get up early, they put on like construction boots and stomp around the house and slam doors and turn on the coffee pot and all kinds of things. So yeah, I'm typically up 5 days a week. I'm typically up very, very early, and I just gave up. I used to try and go back to sleep and sleep in a little bit, but now I just embrace it. I just get up and start doing something. I get my quiet time in the morning. I do some reading. I work in my planner and my journal, and then it kind of sets me up for a successful day. But yeah, I feel you 100% there. Like when you live with somebody else and they get up early, it can set up your whole day.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know what name is this person. I want to say Adam. I want to say it's Adam, but maybe it's something else. It says at least she doesn't attempt to murder you, putting Legos on the floor in the bathroom. Yeah. I haven't. Our kids are older, so there's not too many Legos floating around the house. But that's another thing that I think women do when they get older, and at the risk of sounding like a sexist, I know a lot of women like turn off the lights at night. Like I need to see where I'm going. I can't be walking around in the dark. So if someone doesn't push the chair in at the table, I'm sure to walk into it at full speed and stumble over it. It's just kind of a normal thing there.
Yeah.
Matt Price. Yeah. YouTube don't do names anymore for some stupid reason. Oh, gotcha. Hey, Matt, welcome to the call. It's great to have you. All right. Go ahead.
I have some Legos around here somewhere that I will pull out to get back at her.
Yeah, but you also have a bunch of smushmallow things, right? So you got these giant pillows that people can fall on when they trip on a Lego.
Right. Right.
So have you done anything at all interesting in the last week, even 2 weeks, Emily? We don't have any real substantive questions yet. So tell me what's been in your world that's interesting.
Yeah. I learned that you can build rename blocks. So if in WordPress, if you want to like rename something, that's pretty cool. I have been using Cadence blocks a lot lately to take people's Elementor sites and put them in WordPress blocks. I learned that you can rename them. So if you, instead of having like a million row layouts on your left-hand column, your navigator, when you're building a web page, you can rename them to the name of the section. You like your hero section, our logos, testimonials, whatever. You can just rename them, and that's pretty cool. I didn't know you could do that, but getting organized on the back end.
Nice. And
that's been at my client's website. Literally, they had a Elementor homepage. It was taking 4.7 seconds to load, and then we swapped over to WordPress block editor. It was 0.8 seconds. So it like was almost a 5 times increase.
That is a real struggle for me sometimes to get over. And I don't want to turn this into like some kind of bashing session. But I'll pull a page speed report, and then sometimes you're like, well, what if we just tweak this, or what if we just tweak that, and like boof, and then you go, oh my god, like, and millions of people use that tool, right? So it's like I've seen WooCommerce slow things down, Elementor slows things down, I've seen Divi slow things down. I'm not talking about Divi 5. I don't have any experience on Divi 5 yet, but it's like when I was newer in the agency game, I was using a lot of those tools, right? Because I was like, this is what the people want. And then you build them that. And then, once they start getting some traffic and things slow down, they're like, their performance isn't good. And it's like, well, 3 years ago when we built this project for you, this is what you asked for, right? And so do you want to increase because a lot of people say, well, we could just increase our server resources. But at some point, you got to go back to, I hate to say best practices, but back to best practices and go, how could we have built this more efficiently, and how could we build this to perform better?
Yeah.
Speaking of things that supposedly perform well, in my little world, I decided to rebuild the Mañana No Mas website in Etch.
Okay.
My level of frustration at my newly found sense of stupidity is profound. It's I've been doing this for a long time. People regard me as some kind of an expert, and the more I play in this platform, the less of an expert I feel like sometimes. But I will say, I started yesterday afternoon, and I basically got 3 pages knocked out in the rebuild. It's just nothing from bricks carries over to Etch. So it's not because like I switched the theme and I switched, obviously the builder. But it's not like you sign into the page and you see like unformatted content. You just don't see anything that came over from bricks. So you end up having to like rebuild a lot of stuff. So I'm doing a rebuild in staging, and then when it's done, I'm going to push it to production, and it should keep all of the existing student data, webinar press data, should keep everything should stay. You know what I mean? Just change the look and feel of everything. So there's that. Where did I want to go? I wanted to go here, and I wanted to do this. That's what I want to do. Yeah, that's me finally getting something done in Etch. If you're new to this call, if you've never seen me before, it's totally fine. I have been talking about Etch for it's almost a year. I think I've been talking about Etch for a year, and this is the first project that I'm actually doing with Etch. Like, I keep trying to learn it. I keep trying to and I finally was like, I just got to build something with it and use it. Like I keep trying to figure out, well, how am I going to be an expert? I just got to use it. And we've talked about this before, Emily. It's like when we come out with a new feature at LifterLMS, people keep asking us for, can you show us this? Can you show us that? Can you show us that? At some point, you got to enable it and take a stab at it. And chances are you'll learn it much more quickly if you sample it and play with it yourself. You know, I have another project for my person in the Netherlands. You want to know what I did?
Yeah.
You probably don't care, but I'm going to share with the people. The people. It was a link that came through from the experts link, lifterlms.com/experts. So someone reached out to me through the experts link, and they said that they were building a LifterLMS website, but their company had multiple other websites and like thousands of courses and some other platform and like all this stuff. And they said they wanted people to come to this new LifterLMS website for the specific training that this group is supposed to take. And they wanted them to be able to click on login and then have it open up their other website for single sign-on, and then make the account and do all the junk it's supposed to do, but then automatically redirect them back to the course that they would be pre-enrolled in to get them started in their deal. And we used OpenID to do that. But what was interesting about this particular task was they had a tech team. So you can imagine, you know, for me, and I'm sure, you know, I don't know, Emily, if you would, because you're more flexible than I am, but like, they're like, oh, we have our own tech team, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, so then what'd you call me for? Like, I'm like, if you have your own tech team, why am I here? Well, you know, we need your help with the LifterLMS side of the website. Okay. I said, well, I'm going to need access to that and the other, because it's a handshake. You know, I got to make sure things work. And for security reasons, they didn't want to give any third-party people access to the other site. And so I was kind of dreading it. I thought it was going to be a nightmare, and it ended up being just about one of the most easiest things I ever made money on. It was so easy. I put in the OpenID. I said, this is the data that I require for the OpenID tool. I sent it to them, and their tech team seemed to know what that was. They sent me exactly what I needed. I plugged it into the fields. I hit save. And then I said, here's your redirection URL. So when people come to this site to log in, when they log in, your tool should redirect them back to this site. And bada boom, bada bing, Bob's your uncle. Everything works.
Bob is in fact your uncle. That's awesome.
Yeah. It was kind of cool. And it was nice to do something that was a little more on the technical side and, you know, get someone's input for something. That was pretty cool. We do have a question from Alicia. So as a reminder, folks, put your questions and comments and things into the chat. It looks like Matt's got a question in here for us too. So let's take a look at a couple of things here. And Garrison's got a pro tip in here too. Apparently I'm telling stories and people are actually doing what we asked. Let's see. Let's go with Garrison. Garrison says, before bed, picture the time you want to get up on the clock or watch you have. Then tell yourself that you want to complete your REM cycle by that time on the clock. Invariably, I wake up refreshed and alive with about 2 to 5 minutes of time I choose. And yes, I also set an alarm for a later time. I have noticed if I go to bed and I say, hey, I know I got to get up at 4 o'clock to go to a mountain bike race. Let's just say it's a weekend for a mountain bike race. I got to get up at 4 a.m. and go to this race. I wake up at like 3:52. It's like the weirdest thing. I get up, I have a clear mind, I'm well rested, and then I turn off the alarm before it goes off and wakes up the rest of the house. That's the man gene, though. That's like, I got to be quiet in the mornings. If I get up early, I can't be waking up the whole house with an alarm, right? Matt comes to us and he says, what kind of SEO and newsletter plugins seem to work best for LifterLMS? Oh boy. Do you have any thoughts on this, Emily?
SEO and newsletter plugins. That's a good question. SEO, there's a lot of options. Basically all the SEO plugins are good. My default go-to is Yoast SEO, but I have SEO Press. Any other ones, you can find. They'll be fine. And I think when you're working with an SEO plugin, if you're going to be working with an SEO plugin, you're going to think about the structure of what you're serving on your website. So then you want to start to think about, am I serving a catalog of many courses, or do I have like a single course? And if I have a single course, maybe I want to have a certain sales page. What is my web page schema going to look like compared to other people who I'm competing with SEO? SEO is a whole basket to open up, but Yoast gives you the ability to edit the stuff. But just remember that when you add stuff to Yoast, it's not just enough to get a Yoast or SEO Press and then fill it out with information. It's a step in the right direction, but what you really want to do is research what your competitors are doing and figure out how to beat them. Boom, newsletter. I don't know what you mean quite by newsletter. I know there's like these WordPress plugins that send all your users emails when you publish a post. That's often what we categorize as a newsletter plugin. Like it tells you like, hey, yo, this week we published these posts. And with Lifter, that's not as much of what you're trying to do. That's where you'd want to use a CRM. Kurt's good at talking about CRMs. And so you might defer to you, Kurt, about the Fluent CRM, your Groundhog. What are you using instead of the one that has a penguin as a logo that just sends people notifications when you publish something?
Well, to me, it all comes down to use case, Matt. And I do want to follow up on the SEO thing. I am someone, unless me or my client is going to really use the SEO tool, I hate all of them. I basically hate all of them. I mean, there's Rank Math, there's All-in-One SEO, there's Yoast, there's SEO Press. I've heard some good things about SEO Press. SEO Press is one of the more lightweight versions of SEO optimization. But to Emily's point, if you don't know what you're doing with the SEO, it's just this burdensome boat anchor of nonsense. And a lot of so Yoast, all-in-one SEO, some of those, they basically restructure some of your data tables and stuff. And so you just got to know what's going on. You just got to know what's going on when you're using that stuff. At the risk of alienating or upsetting somebody, I will tell you, I've had multiple clients in dynamic websites. Again, this is what Emily was talking about. Like, you got to know what you're doing with your site. So with community and learning and all of these things dynamically active in a website, I have seen all-in-one SEO create some havoc in the back end, which has put me to defer to Yoast as well. So I have a couple of projects on Yoast. But if you don't use them, if you don't change your content to optimize and boost the SEO, and you're just using it like some kind of SEO report card, you're probably not getting what you need out of it. It's kind of just my statement there. Newsletter plugins, that's a whole different conversation. This could be a whole show. CRMs. I love using CRMs to produce my newsletter content. I used to use a product called Groundhog, and Groundhog is a great CRM. It loads in the back of your WordPress website. And the reason I mentioned Groundhog first is Groundhog has a ton of like pre-formatted templates that are pretty well styled, pretty well designed, and newsletters is one of them. And it kind of gives you like helper text along the way to help you craft a really good newsletter. So it gives you a really good first step. It helps you build, what makes a good newsletter, what helps drive conversions through newsletter contact. So I think Groundhog is a really good option in that space. Fluent CRM is my personal CRM of choice, but their newsletter feature, is a lot less robust. So I have to basically write my own newsletter, and I just treat it like a mass email, right? So that's different. That's not really like a newsletter. Like, I make it a newsletter, right? But that's because I know how to make newsletters. If it's someone that really wants to have like a newsletter kind of service in the website, Fluent is probably not the first choice. So again, focused on use case and what each tool is for. If you have never used MailPoet before, MailPoet is a really strong newsletter plugin. They have a free version, they have a premium version, and MailPoet does a wonderful job. It has multiple styled of templates. You can control who it goes to. It does a really, really good job. So MailPoet, and it's fairly lightweight, pretty easy to use. So MailPoet is a really good option. And then, I was talking about use case. So again, this is going to be another use case specific thing. If you are thinking newsletter, but what you're really meant to say was contacts follow from like a funnel, because a lot of people will say, oh no, I have this lead magnet and I have this funnel and I have this, and then I want to send all those people an email, and that email is going to be my newsletter. Like, people will talk in those terms, right? And they kind of talk themselves in a circle. There's a pair of tools that work extremely well in that situation. So if I'm trying to tie in, lead magnets into follow-up emails, and those emails are going to resemble kind of like a newsletter, like here's a little bit more information about our website and what we do. WP Funnels combined with their email tool, MailMint, is a really powerful combination for that kind of work. So just know that when you get into WP Funnels, it's going to ask you, when you first enable the funnels, it's going to say, do you want to do leads or do you want to sell stuff? And if you click sell stuff, you just need to know that that is meant to be integrated with WooCommerce. So it's only for WooCommerce stores. So when you first put in WP Funnels, if you're not a WooCommerce store, you're not selling stuff through the funnel. What you're going to do is use the lead, and then anything that you create in leads, if you're going to sell through that lead, you would just manually add a button with a purchase link or something like that. And so those are kind of the things that I go with. If you're going to run a sizable list and you want to do newsletters on the regular, and you want to have good templates to choose from, and you like to keep your data in your site instead of running out the HubSpot or whatever to do your stuff, then I think Groundhog is a really great option. And Toby's a pretty nice guy. I've dealt with him in the past, so that's a good one. Let's see who. I think I've answered that question pretty good. Let's go on to Alicia. Bath Alicia. Alicia says, with the CEU add-on, can you do a live demo of create a custom cert for the identified CEU, specifically showing us how to add space between the shortcode areas, as it is squishing on our end and the support team cannot assist? Okay, Alicia. So you're probably one of our Universe or Infinity bundle users. This would be great if you would bring this to the office hours call, because then you would be on a Zoom call and we could actually have a conversation and do a screen share and show you what you may or may not be missing in your certificate. When you're building the certificate, and maybe Emily could show this in a screen share, but when you're building the certificate, it's important to remember that uses the block editor. And so you're creating in that certificate. So maybe you need to add the spacer block between items and then adjust the space between those items, because you're talking about things being squished together. Is that something you could show, Emily?
Yeah. Let's see. Talking about spacing. This window, let's share that one. So when we're looking at spacing, we could do it specifically on a certificate.
Yeah, we should just grab a certificate and...
Yeah, these are specifically complicated because...
By the way, just for the record, I've been using Lifter for over a decade, and I still get frustrated every time someone asks me to help them with a certificate. So
right.
if you're new to Lifter, it's not you. It's just this system is taking the edit screen, and then you always want to look at it in the front end to see what it's actually going to make.
Yes, yeah. It's a complicated one, but basically, let's see. Do I have a course on here? We'll do the board game development course.
Board game development course.
Board board game course. This is just my internal title. You are now a game designer. How about that? Okay, you're now a game designer.
Wait.
We're talking about continuing education. So board game designers don't have to take legal credits to continue. The board game designers, let's imagine they did. Let's see. Integrations, continuing education. Where is it? Right there at the top. We're going to call these genius points. That's plural, that's singular.
GPS, genius points.
Genius points, yes. GPSs, there we go. So I've renamed my custom little guys, my little units. And so we'll call that 5 units. We'll publish my course. So if you complete my course, you get 5 of the units. I'll need to put a little lesson on this course in a second, but let's just trash, single lesson course. Let's save that thing. It's not saving, so I'm going to give it a name. It just saved. This will be, what is a board game?
What is a board game?
What is a board game? If you can just click mark complete on one lesson, you'll earn the certificate. And so what we need to do is get our credits entered here. Now, let us know in the chat if you're watching live, if you're using expiry, because I can show that. I might as well just show that. It's like if you're not using it, don't worry about this feature. But if you are going to use the expiring settings, say expires after 1 year. Let's just do from earned date after 1 year. So you get your credit. It lasts for 1 year. And what we're going to do is present it to this person. Let's minimize this a little bit for space. We're going to create more of these columns because this is probably where we're going to use these little continuing education modules. So rather than earned date, we're going to swap that out with not phone number. Where is it? Merge codes, not short codes. We're going to do a merge code. So we have the units. That's what I want. C units. GPS units earned. Something like that. And then over here, instead of the site title, we're going to do something. We're going to do expiry date. Perfect. And then this is our expiry date. Let's add some space between the columns. Let's just duplicate this little guy and then bring this here. Feature I was talking about at the start of the calls where you can rename these things and say like site title and earned date. That's kind of cool. But yeah, so we have a little space. Let's preview this thing. Let's publish it and give it a view to see if this looks good. Might still be, looks decent. So now we can set it up. Add new engagement. Board game course cert. Completes a course. Completes the board game course. Give them a certificate. Select the board game certificate. Publish. Let's complete the course.
Let's complete the course.
Let's complete the course. I should earn 5 credits, and there should be an expiry on there. View my certificate. I didn't earn anything. Why didn't I earn anything? Let's see.
Is that still the preview tab from the earlier?
No, this is my little dude. It should populate. Let's see. What did I do wrong here? Probably did something wrong. Maybe if I edit my certificate, I don't know if the shortcode has changed and I messed that up. Let's examine it. Let's examine it. So troubleshooting, merge codes, CE earned, expiry. These remain the same. In the settings, I have it all turned on. Let's see. Am I updated? Am I on my latest continuing education add-on from Lifter? Continuing education. I'm not. There was a bug fix. This is my issue. I talked to Chris about this yesterday. Let me get the latest one. And then I will.
Bada bing.
do that again. There was a bug fix that we identified last Feature Friday. So continuing education 133. Let's put that thing on here. Replace with current upload. Let's try again. So I want to earn my certificate again. What I'm going to do is delete my data real quick. Do a little this and that.
Little this and that.
No. Come on, Arthur Wells. Enroll me. Beautiful. Let's go to the reporting. Another example of a continuing education feature. Arthur Wells, where am I? Boop. Courses. Let's find the board game course and cancel my progress. There it is. We're going to delete course data, restart me from scratch. Another cool feature of continuing education. Let's see. Let's try again. So now, cross our fingers, mark the lesson as complete. We got this. Still blank. What the hell? Why is this still blank? Is it because I renamed it? Might have to troubleshoot this thing. Let me try renaming this back to CU. Probably something I'm doing on here. Save. Don't know if that can't be required. That can't be. So I earned my certificate. My certificate was blank, and that. Did I not have any CEUs on my course? Did I fail to save that? Genius points. There's 5. That's exactly what it was supposed to be. I don't know. I could troubleshoot this in the background. I probably messed something up.
Well, the main thing was the spacing on the certificate. You nailed that.
Okay, cool. But now I'm curious. I'm like, what's going on here? Did I even earn my points?
I even earned my points. You know, it might be the student cache because you are on a demo site.
Yeah, it didn't.
Maybe you need to purge the student cache in the the status tools thing.
Maybe. Update my lifter, maybe. I'll read the change log. Briefly unavailable for maintenance. Done with maintenance. Progress cache. Just updating my lifter because I was like, is there a change log item that avoid warning? I don't know. But yeah, so that's reset. I don't know if that would work here. I should have 5 genius points. I'm not even earning my CEUs. I don't know. I'll troubleshoot that more in the background, but figure that out.
All right. Well, Alicia was here. So Alicia says, thanks for taking my questions. So that's awesome. Alicia apparently also likes Yoast. And this is interesting to me. Alicia, if you're new, maybe you just haven't seen the email, or maybe it's going to spam, but you get an email invitation to the office hours, which is every Thursday at 2:00 Central that we host. And it's for people that have the Universe or the Infinity bundle. So if you're not seeing that, you might want to email team at LifterLMS.com and just ask to make sure that you're on that listing through the CRM to get that message. All right, we are using it. And Emily, this was awesome. We're also having issues with the CEU Hour Award, but baby steps, you're rad. Oh, and your hair is looking fly.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, she says she's been here for 5 years. You know, a lot of people got that message week after week after week and then unsubscribed from it. And then if you unsubscribe, it's like an act of God to get resubscribed to it. So that may have happened as well. We've had some people that unsubscribed and couldn't get back on the list because it's like a CRM security thing. So, all right. I think we're looking pretty good. I'm just going through the comments here, making sure I haven't missed anybody. I don't want to upset nobody. I don't upset nobody. Yeah. Oh, that may have happened. Yeah, that's for people that have been with us for a long time. They'll be like, "Ah, man," especially like around Black Friday season, because we get really heavy-handed on the emails around Black Friday, and then bada boom, bada bing, right? People say, "Ah, I don't want these anymore," and then it's really hard to get back on the list. But what else is going on? What else can you think of? Did you see the update about the passwords thing, Emily?
No, I didn't.
So there's a new thing got pushed out today. It might be on the team channel. Let me see if I can find that. I'm just going to say I get frustrated with Slack routinely because like now I'm trying to find the team channel and it's like I don't even see all the channels, and it doesn't even say browse the channels. Like, what the hell happened to that? Home. I don't know. Anyway, the ability to choose your password during registration, that doesn't come up anymore. So kind of like in a WordPress, not in a WordPress, kind of like a WooCommerce way, people put in their email and then they get registered and then they get an email that says, click this link to change your password.
And that's like on all Lifter sites now?
I believe so.
That's, we'll figure out how to make it smooth in the future, but for a user experience perspective, that seems pretty bad. Like a security thing? Like,
can't remember.
Like an
can't remember why that was. Let me go back to my notes. They talked about it in yesterday's meeting.
Yeah.
And then today, do you have access to the? It's not. Where the hell are the channels at?
I think in Slack, there's like a little setting now that they automatically turned on that hides channels you're not active in. And
ridiculous.
I changed it back to the old way, but you have to set that. It's the general channel, right? I know, not general.
Well, not. It's the team channel now. They call it team.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't find it. Is it in threads? This is why I don't like. This is exactly why I don't like Slack. I never find what I want to find.
Is it external connections? It's under my external connections folder.
Oh, what's the externals connections folder?
Like I have channels as one drop down and external connections is above it, and a team is in there.
Oh. Well, I don't have that either. It's ridiculous. Show and sort, active only. Nope. So all. Okay. That didn't do it. Manage, show and sort all. Okay, there it is. Yeah, we just put a change live to not ask for a password during registration or checkout on. Oh, it's on LifterLMS.com.
Yeah.
Just on LifterLMS.com.
Yeah, that's for our website.
Yeah, if you hear of or notice anything, okay, so it's just there. Okay, I feel smarter now. Oh my goodness! All right, and well, I'm going to close the spreadsheet down, and I'm going to turn that off. All right. Let's see. From a CE perspective, that is a nightmare. I don't know what we're talking about now. And then this person always wants us to get the best viewers on streamboo.com. It's amazing to me how people can spam that all the time.
Streamboo, yeah, they're like, they're paying for those bots to put stuff in our chat.
Yeah. So, something else. I came up with something. I had a project, and you know how sometimes when you're an agency and you're going to go work on a site and you think to yourself, I should probably take some screenshots of this website before I start doinking around in here. You ever do that? Like just take screenshots, put them in a folder? You're like, nah, I just jump in there and do it.
No, yeah, I'm jumping in there.
I like to take screenshots because I don't like when you make changes or you do something and then the customer or the client is like, that's not what I thought it was gonna be. I thought it used to look like. I like to, then I can just pull up and go, nope, this is what it used to look like right here. The other thing is like when you add features or new plugins or God forbid some kind of customization somewhere, I like to have a list of all the screenshots of the site so that if, you know, a month later, someone comes to me and goes, oh, this part of this website doesn't show up anymore. This doesn't work. I can go back to the original screenshots and go, oh, it was there. It's definitely not there now. What the hell is doing that? You know, like, so I use it for like troubleshooting. So anyway, that's like one of our work processes is having screenshots of sites as we work on them. And so I think I got that from Blog Vault. I got that in my head from Blog Vault. Have you ever used Blog Vault?
Yes.
So Blog Vault, when you update plugins, it takes a screenshot of the homepage and then it shows you a screenshot of the homepage when it's done. And if it doesn't work, then you know that you got to roll back your plugins because something's broke. So I kind of got that idea from that. Anyway, long story short, not so short, I made an automation that I just changed the link in the automation and it uses Node.js and it goes in and strips all the screenshots of the entire website and plops it in a folder for me. It's kind of nice. So, because I have some projects that have, you know, literally 7,500 pages, you know, of stuff. And so it's nice to be able to just, you know, kind of, if I had to take screenshots of 75 pages manually, that's half a day shot, you know, and it seems stupid to do that. But if I can spend 5 minutes, you know, open up my automation, change the links, change the folder where it's going to live, bada boom, bada bing, off and running.
Yes.
I also started trying to use PatchStack. Have you ever used PatchStack?
Never heard of it.
PatchStack is a security plugin, and it you can use it as like a main hub to update all your plugins on all your sites. But it also gives you a warning if like an update has a high probability or a high vulnerability to cause a conflict on your website. So that's one that I like. I'm going to start using that for our customers. I got a lot of stuff going on this month. I can't believe I feel this slow, but I feel this busy at the same time.
Yes, I feel you. I feel super slow and busy. I figured this out though. I just wasn't enrolled in the course, and so it wasn't going to give me my points.
I wasn't enrolled in the course. Well, now you're enrolled.
Yeah.
And you got it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you pop up the certificate again so people can see it for more than a second?
Yeah, this is our CEU points and our expiry date.
Yeah. And so playing in the editor to me to make these certificates is where things get a little bit frustrating. So let's say someone had like one of those small gold seal icons and they wanted to put it like in the lower right-hand corner. If they add that image, it's going to go as like a whole row in the bottom, right? And then it would either not be on the certificate, or I would have to increase the number of columns in my column row, or I could still put it below those column rows, but then I would shrink my spacers so that it would bring it up. Hopefully I'm making sense. But like working in this, designing certificates in here is a real play on using the spacers and adjusting things.
Indeed. 3 columns. Drop this little character into the middle. Something like that. And this needs to minimize.
Yeah. And then you still need to go preview it on the front end because the spacing's still not ideal.
Right.
So this kind of matches along with Alicia's thing. You're more patient than me. I would just shrink the crap out of that logo.
Yeah, there's a whole sizing issue going on here, and so you want to make this little guy smaller, so that we have more room. But yeah, it's annoying because like over here it looks really good, then over here it's just barely good enough to meet the frame.
Yeah, and so
We're
now
good.
you go back and put more spacing underneath the for demonstration of excellence. Shazam.
Right. It is funny to like the clients like, can we jam another image at the bottom and make it like that big? And then just be like, yeah, we can get that thing down there. See? So you got your logo right there at the bottom.
There you go. But it's cool to show it on screen because I'm sure that there are people that sign up and then start to use it and then think they're doing something wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. It just, you really got to play with it and you got to keep looking at it on the front end to make sure it's what you need it to be. The spacing in the editor is not real life. And it's, I guess in reality, if you were to think about it, it's going to format so it prints on like an 8.5 by 11 landscape. So if you start thinking in those terms, it starts to make more sense. Like your edit screen isn't showing you those dimensions at that scale, right? And so when it goes and creates a certificate that is something that could be exported as a PDF, it's going to format to those dimensions. So those are the things you need to keep in mind. All right. I'm lost. What? Oh, Garrison's got a question up at the top. So Garrison wants to know, when I export a course from one website, Divi LMS theme, and import it into a new SkyPilot theme, what items come with it? Courses, lessons, pages, or what? Well, the course doesn't necessarily come with, I guess it comes with the course page. Yeah, so be your course page, your lesson pages, they're all post types. But if you had Divi specific elements, those aren't going to transfer over to SkyPilot. That's a unique one. I guess it depends on what you designed because in a Divi site, you don't have to develop, you have the option to develop lesson pages in Divi. So I wonder if that would affect your export.
Yes. You will get your courses and lessons, so you'll have your titles and quizzes and stuff like that. You're not going to have pages. So if you have a sales page, you're not going to have that. When you export and import a course, it's simply the course and all the material. And if you're using Divi, it's going to be a bunch of like weird formatted nonsense that you're going to have to clean up because the Divi block editor doesn't translate to SkyPilot quite right. But you will have your whole course builder structure. So when we're looking at the course builder, what I mean is you don't have students either. No students. Just, oh, there it was. No students. But this page here that outlines your whole syllabus, this will already be filled in. So, it would probably take a few minutes to recreate this by copying and pasting your titles over. But alternatively, I don't know, converting from Divi to the block editor, you have two ways to go, right? You can take your conversion and then clean it up by just exporting your Lifter course and importing it, and then there's a bunch of messy formatting and then cleaning that up. Or we could just copy and paste select pieces over and kind of rebuild from scratch. And so you have two options. Either way is valid, whatever you'd like to do. I would say that the copy and paste rebuild is going to be faster because it'd be faster for me to go through, add a lesson, copy and paste my title here. Copy, paste. That'll be easier than having my entire lesson format already in here and then having to run through, and then like there's like a bunch of like random tags and stuff like theme, LMS, component, and like having this kind of stuff buried all over your page. But then you have like these valid pieces of content in your course, you'll learn ... So you'll have something like this all mixed up. You'll have your good content and you have all this stuff you got to remove. Whatever way feels like it'll work best for you, you should go it that way because it's all good. But for me personally, I would do the copy and paste way so that we don't have to clean up every lesson. I don't know. What do you think, Kurt?
It just, to me, it's use case, depends on the size of the lessons and the complexity. You know, if it's a ton of lessons, I have a client that, you know, had one of them had like 87 lessons in a thing, and I just didn't want to deal with the course builder at that length, copy and pasting and that auto saving deal and you get it in the course builder. So I imported the course and then I went through each of the lessons, cleaned them up, and I had to move a couple things around. Like I didn't like where some of the images were, so I reformatted the images in the block builder and moved some things around. But yeah, whenever I import a course, I always go through the course. I never blindly assume that it's perfect. No matter what the source was, I always go through the course page by page, lesson by lesson, and tweak a few things and clean some things up anyway. So, Libby's got a question. Hey, Libby, welcome to the call because I don't think we saw you earlier. How do I add users to a classroom as an admin and get them to access it on their own?
Oh, that's a good question.
That is a pretty good question.
That's like, right, if you're a WordPress admin, like I have someone I want to add, I would only recommend doing this if it's like super necessary or you have less than like 20 students, 25 students you're managing, because otherwise we might want to think of another process. So let us know if you have like a manageable size of students, because if you're doing each student manually, giving them a manual enrollment per student, it's going to be like a lot of steps per person. But if it's just one person or a small group of people, you're going to make sure they're a user on your WordPress website by giving them a username, email, password. You can send them a password reset email if you want, or you can just set their password and email it to them. That's less secure, but you know, if you could do this if you want to, make them their own password and send it to them, or they could create their own. Either way, make them as a user or confirm that they are a user on your WordPress website. Then all you have to do is click this little box next to their face. So if you find them on your list, look them up in your users report. You can do a select course or membership right here. Like if I want to put this person in the Academy membership, just click enroll. And you could do this for a bunch of people at the same time if you wanted to. So if you created a bunch of people, you enrolled them in the Academy membership, these 3 people are now enrolled in the Academy. That's the easiest way to do it.
Well, and the other way to do it, Libby, and this is maybe thinking out of the box a little bit, is if you leveraged groups in your learning. Like if each class had its own group, there's an enrollment link that you could give people. They could use the link to sign up for the class, or you could just send them an email invite through that group. And when they accept the email invite, they'll automatically be added to the course or to the class, the way that you're saying that. So there's different ways to do different things. The hard part for me is when we get into manual enrollments, when we say, oh, we're going to manually enroll you into this class, the assumption from the people that make the software is they're already going to be members of the website. Like typically when we think we're going to manually enroll people into classes, we're going to bulk enroll students into classes, we have students that have become members of the site, and then we can bulk enroll them just like Emily showed through the users option. But if you are trying to get outside people into your course, it works best if you have them enroll in some way. And the groups option is a really good way to go, especially if you're separating people into different groups of people or classes of people. Then you would use the groups option for that. And then I'm seeing some things pop up over here in our chat bar. So Libby says, thanks. Then she says, what is the other process? The other process is the groups. She says, I have their name and emails, but it's about 60 people. Libby, if you got 60 people, I would strongly urge you to use the groups feature. You start a group. You say that there's 61 seats in the group because it's the 60 people plus an admin or a group leader. And then in that, when you set up that group, there's an email invite window. You just literally say invite members, and you just copy and paste all their emails in there and click send, and it sends everybody an email invitation. If you set up the group properly, they'll automatically be enrolled in either the membership or the course that you choose for automatic enrollment. So that is probably the easiest and fastest way, and it gets them doing it themselves. And so that would be the groups feature. If you don't currently have groups, that would be something that you can get separately if you choose, or it comes with the Infinity Bundle.
And you could also do an access plan link, like a free access plan. It would be similar to the groups. That would be like, I could show both of those ways. So Libby, if you have an Infinity Bundle or access to Lifter groups, you could do a group. You do groups, add group. This is our group. It is the 60 people to onboard group. And then what we would do, select our course or membership. My membership is called the Academy membership. It gives you everything on the website. Save that. And I'll give it some seats here in a second. But give it seats. Like Kurt said, you're going to go 61 because you take up one of those seats by having created the group. And then your link is right here. Anyone with the link can join, and then you send this out. People click that link, they can sign up. You could also be like, I guess I was on a membership. You could also, if you're working with a free core plugin, you could do a link this way, and I'll show you what these people see. So it's a free plan. That's it. So as a free user, copy link address. I think I might need to share a new window because
we got to go incognito.
Incognito. Let's see. So if I stop my share and reshare the incognito window that I just opened, this is what the purchase page looks like. You can change it from purchase to free enrollment, change the name to whatever you want. But this is what people will see. They can add their own email, their own password, and their information. That's not the group. That's the access plan, the one I showed last. And then the group link, let me get that group link back. If someone clicks the group link, they will see this.
And so this is our way, Libby, of saying it's WordPress. And the answer is yes, you can. It's just you have to choose how, because there's always different ways to do different things.
Yeah.
And Emily, successfully, that puts us at the top of the hour. I'm going to go ahead and do the announcement I should have made at the very beginning. And that is, if you like what you've been seeing or you're interested in trying things out, we have where the heck is it? There it is. It's at the bottom of the screen. A 55% off coupon available at lifterlms.com/AMA-gift. lifterlms.com/AMA-gift. So there's that. If you're like, dang, I want to have courses, but I don't want to build all this stuff myself, you might want to check out the experts link. That is lifterlms.com/experts, lifterlms.com/experts. And Emily, you're wpcourseguide.com, right?
Yeah, you can see it on screen.
And I am Mañana No Mas. All right. I think that does it. We're going to exit. Y'all have a great week. We will not see you next week for Christmas. I'll have a conversation with Emily. This has been a really good episode. We might do something at a different hour next week or something. I don't know. Keep an eye on your email and on your socials. We might do something some other time. You guys have a good one. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.